My name is Joe Pollock. I'm one of the owners here at Q8 Superbaits, which is a subset of our main parent company called Aquatic Nutrition. My first job out of college was to design a fish food and a protocol to get largemouth bass to eat a stationary pellet. To be able to be paid to go fishing or to work in the industry, I mean, what could be better? Honestly, what could be better? So what inspired me was the fact that I could make a career out of something I loved. I was able to move here to Florida, where I worked for the largest supplier of fish farming equipment. And during that time, we thought, you know what, we're going to moonlight a little bit. Let's raise some koi. I've always had a passion for koi, and let's do this on the side. We'll start a small farm. My initial investment was actually only $300. We bought a bunch of small fish from a grower, and we put them in one of our large recirculation systems. We grew them out. It was 1,000 fish, paid 30 cents a piece for them, sold them for $6 a piece. So you can see there's $6,000, most of that profit. Our fish farm business thrived, and more people came in buying our koi. They decided, hey, we want to feed the same food that you're feeding your koi. Will you sell us our food? So sure enough, we're putting food in bags and we're selling it. One day I thought, well, our koi really like this food. I wonder if we were to take this offshore fishing, if it would attract fish like it does here locally. So we took this food offshore, we slowly doled it out like chum over a period of time. We're anchored up, and sure enough, some cobia come in. We hook these cobia, we're cranking it in, throw it in the boat, cut the stomach open on these fish, and sure enough, they're full of fish food. Ding, like, I said, okay, let's solve a problem here. Let's come up with a shelf-stable fishing attractant, a chum that we can keep on the boat, and when the time's right, when we're on the reef, when we want to deploy this, we can deploy this, but there's no refrigeration, there's no hassle. We looked very carefully at a lot of different attractants, trying literally thousands of different combinations until we could get the right attractant for these fish to come in, depending on the species. The challenges were that there's nothing to start with. We have nobody to call, we have no literature to read, we have to start from very scratch. So what do? You start with an idea, you mix a bunch of stuff together, and it doesn't work. And you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it for months, and then you do it for seasons, and then you do it for years. And after about 4.5 years, the light bulb went off. I held up a stick, it had a glob of material on it. I ran to the house, I showed my wife, I'm like, look at this. She's like, okay, it's another glob of crap on the end of a stick. What is that? I'm like, we got it. It works, it's formable, it's filled completely with scent. This is the beginning of something big. And over the next couple of years, we tweaked these formulas, got them so that we were able to produce them, and then turn them into a product that we now call Q8, which is a biodegradable, completely scent-filled, flavor-filled, highly water-based material that the fish absolutely eat as if it was a live bait. It's completely new. So unlike, let's say, a plastisol, I want to get in the fishing lure business. I'm going to make what I'd call a rubber worm or plastisol bait. Okay, you buy the material, you heat it up, you dump it in a mold, and you pull it off, and you got that. There literally has to be thousands of manufacturers of a plastisol soft plastic bait. Q8 is something totally different. The first shape that we went with was what you'd call almost like a fluke, which would be our version, we call it a bullet. Very easy to cast, long casting bait that mimics the look of a minnow or a bait fish. Everything eats bait fish. And we took that out on a smaller scale. I can remember the first days casting that off the dock before we even had the boat in the water, casting it out, and I think maybe we caught a little ladyfish or something. It was something insignificant. You know, first cast, second cast, bam. Like, holy cow, this is working. They're eating it. They're eating it. And from there, we just started expanding into other bait styles. Nothing beats the scent of a live bait. Nothing. Yes, a shape is going to attract a fish, an action is going to attract a fish, but until that fish gets close enough to either smell or actually bite and taste that bait, they're not sure whether they're gonna want it or not. What are we producing? We are producing a bait that smells alive and it tastes alive. The best thing you could do with a live bait, let's say if this was a live shrimp, the absolute best thing you could do to fish this thing would be cut his tail off. Cut it right off. And then what happens? Now all of a sudden this bait starts oozing. It's bleeding, right? It's leaving a blood trail. The problem with cutting that tail off that shrimp or off that bait fish is he bleeds for how long? A couple of minutes. Once all that blood's gone, now you got this little tiny area that's still shedding a little bit of scent. Our baits are as if you took and cut the tail off, but the whole thing bleeds all the way around. This thing is shedding scent for up to 12 hours. 2 minutes, 12 hours. A lot of difference there. Smells alive, tastes alive, bleeding bait technology. How does Q8 change the way the anglers fish? Well, I guess you could say you don't have to be as good of an angler. You know, now if you're fishing a soft plastic, throw it out there and let it set on bottom. On bottom. Soft plastic. That fish is gonna come up to it and you're like, yeah, no, okay, looks like shrimp, but no, thank you. So what do you gotta do if you're using a standard soft plastic? Gotta jig it, you gotta drift it, you gotta make sure that action's there. And what's gonna happen, that fish is gonna come up, he's gonna grab this bait, he's gonna go wham, and if he gets the hook, you got him. It's gonna go wham, boom, and he's gonna spit it out just as fast as he grabbed it because it does not smell alive, it doesn't taste alive. The game changer, that thing sitting on the bottom is drooling scent all the time. Drooling scent. So if that fish is downstream of that, even though he doesn't see it, he's gonna be like, hey, there's a shrimp over there. He'll go up and he'll pick this bait right up off the bottom. You don't have to have as good of action. All you gotta be is fishing where the fish are and they will find this. So how does this change it? It satisfies the true reason a fish is gonna eat. Q8 is as close to the real thing as you can get without having to keep it alive, without having to keep it refrigerated. You can keep it on the boat. It's super tough, super tough. This is gonna catch 6 fish per bait. A live shrimp, it's gonna take you 6 shrimp to catch 1 fish. Mainly our baits have been targeted towards the saltwater. We are expanding into the freshwater stuff. Trout eggs, salmon eggs, worms, other shapes, curly tails, things for walleye and panfish along that way. The great thing is, being the size of the company we are, we're fast. We can go from design concept on our computer all the way through to having baits in packages and heading out to stores in less than 2 weeks. Some saltwater fish are triggered by a specific group of chemicals, and other saltwater fish are actually put off by those chemicals. Same goes true for freshwater. Our baits are custom tailored, our scents are custom tailored so that we can trigger those positives and maybe even remove some of the negatives that are there. On the freshwater front, neat fact is earthworm. Some of the chemicals in those worms are actually a deterrent to those fish. So we've taken an earthworm and we formulated a scent that stripped off those deterrents and added more of the scents that actually attract. Certain groups of fish fit in certain categories. Of course, if they're going to eat a shrimp, then they're going to eat a Q8 shrimp altogether. But you're going to find that literally some fish don't want to eat a shrimp. So if you've not tried Q8, I welcome you to go out and get you a pack, get you a sample pack. Even call us, we'll send you a pack for free. If you're using a soft plastic, you're missing a lot of fish that you didn't even know came up, inspected your lure and left because they didn't bite it. It didn't pull the trigger that close. So I invite you to give these a shot. Pick your favorite color, pick your favorite action. There's no one right way to use this. Just be known that this is like fishing a live bait. It does a lot of the work for you.